believe, and we have a quorum.
Very good. Let's do it. I hereby call to order this meeting of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Wednesday, January 18th, 2023, and the time is 10:01 a.m. Would those commissioners in attendance please identify themselves and state whether they're here via telephone, Google Meets, or in person?
This is Joe Pennington. I'm participating by Google Meet and telephone.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I'm Scott Fletcher. I'm participating via telephone. And hopefully at some point we'll get Commissioner Feinstein in the mix too. But until then, it'll be a two-man band. Let's move into our new business. B1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, and 5-229, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Roberto Vargas, doing business as Iron Boy Combat Sports LLC for a 2023 promoter's license. Mr. Velo, will you speak to Mr. Vargas's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So Mr. Vargas's application, he submitted everything timely and everything came back positive. He does have a stable financial position, but I do have one item, sir, with this application that I would like to discuss via executive session. So I don't know if you want to table this towards the end or if you would like to go into it now.
You tell me. How would you prefer to pursue this? Are there other things we're going to want to talk about in executive session as well?
Yeah, there may be a little later on, so maybe
okay.
Table maybe item 3.
Yeah, let's table B1, and we'll circle back to that at some point. And if we get into the session, we can kill a few birds with one stone maybe while we're in there. How about that?
Sounds good. Okay.
B1 is tabled. We will circle back to that. B2 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, 5-229, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Joel Lopez, doing business as RUF Nation LLC for a 2023 promoter's license. Mr. Velo, will you speak to Mr. Lopez's application?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So Mr. Lopez's application came back completely clean. He looks very stable for 2023. And as you know, RUF MMA is one of the most active MMA promoters that we have. And so with that, I do recommend their approval.
Thank you, Mr. Velo. Commissioner, thoughts, questions regarding RUF Nation?
Mr. Chairman, I have not had the opportunity to attend any of their events in the last year or so. But the events I did attend, they were well done. And obviously, he has a very good record with us. So given that, if a motion is in order, then I would be happy to make it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think a motion is in order. Mr. Lopez has done some great things over the years. I think he just did RUF 51 not too long ago. So we have a long history with him. He does a nice job of matchmaking, building these cards. And if there is a motion, the chair would be interested in it.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, A, B, E, and 5-229, I move that we grant a renewal license application for Mr. Joel Lopez, doing business as RUF Nation LLC for a 2023 promoter's license.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. I will second that motion. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Lopez. We look forward to your upcoming events. We're going to talk about one of them here in a little bit. Let's move on to B3. Pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Cory Schafer, doing business as International Sport Karate Association, the ISKA, for a 2023 Outside Sanctioning Body license. Mr. Velo, will you speak to Mr. Schafer's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is the application in which I was waiting on some items to come back from our financial investigators, which they presented to us and I submitted to you as well. Mr. Schafer presents a very stable financial position, and everything within his organization has been executed well. Last year, we issued him a license as an outside sanctioning body, and I'm pleased to say I never had any issues or complaints, and I think that they'll do a very good job again. So I recommend their approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioner Pennington, thoughts about the ISKA?
Mr. Chairman, the ISKA has been around for quite some time. They have a very stable position and have put on some excellent events outside of Arizona as well as inside of Arizona. So with that in mind, I have no real questions or comments.
Very good. Thank you. I agree with you. They have a long history. They've done some great things here in the state and elsewhere. The chair would open a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to ARS 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, that we grant a renewal license application for Cory Schafer doing business as International Sports Karate Association for a 2023 outside sanctioning body license.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. I am going to second that motion. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm joined by Google Meets, and I vote aye.
Very good. Welcome. Thank you. The motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Schafer. Look forward to upcoming events.
Thank you.
Here now. Item 4 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Yang Pan, doing business as Arizona SANDA Association for a 2023 outside sanctioning body license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Pan's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. With regard to the Arizona SANDA Association, I do have some concerns on the basis of what we were presented with last year. It appears to me as though there were some internal issues with the organization. Obviously we had plenty of complaints, and we had asked Mr. Pan to find a solution with his stakeholders and solve the issues internally, to which he wasn't very compliant to do. It appeared to me that a lot of the issues were more personal than anything, and therefore I don't feel that the Arizona SANDA Association presents a level of impartiality that I would expect from an outside sanctioning organization, and therefore, sir, I'm not recommending approval for this particular license.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Appreciate your time and thoughts. Commissioners, thoughts about Mr. Pan's application?
Mr. Chairman, I agree with our executive director's comments. We don't seem to have any events being scheduled or planned, and the events that they tried to put together last year met with some extreme opposition. So I'm not in favor of this license.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Feinstein, any thoughts?
No, just to say that I'm disappointed simply because I support, obviously, SANDA as a sport, and would love to see those events here, but I don't think that this is the right way to bring these events forward, given that we gave Mr. Pan some very clear deliverables about what we needed as a commission in order for him to be able to support events. And it doesn't sound like any of those things were carried through. And I would agree with Mr. Vella that at this time I can't support this.
Thank you, Commissioner. I tend to agree with everyone else. Unfortunately, I think SANDA needs to be supported in this state. And yet I don't see a path forward at this point. If I'm wrong, if there is a motion, please make it. Otherwise, we will move forward. Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we deny the license.
Very good. We have a motion to deny this license. Is there a second?
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. The license is denied. B5 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Robert Karmel, doing business as the United States Muay Thai Association, the USMTA, for a 2023 outside sanctioning body license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Karmel's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. With regard to the USMTA application for renewal, I think anybody that has done business with Mr. Karmel knows that he's a very diligent man, and it was reflective in his application as well. Submitted everything to us very early on, and I did not have to request any additional documentation. He was very thorough, and with that, I appreciate it. And I'll just say that that speaks for itself. So I will recommend his approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioners, thoughts about the USMTA?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Karmel has been a very active participant in the combat sports in Arizona, especially with the amateurs. He's done a lot of very good events, and I'm in favor of the application.
Thank you, Commissioner. Feinstein, any thoughts?
No, I would just echo Commissioner Pennington to say that we've appreciated Mr. Karmel, his diligence in working with the commission to put forward safe and successful events, and look forward to seeing more from him in the future.
Thank you. Agreed. I think we're all agreed. And Mr. Karmel and the USMTA and the manner in which they conduct themselves, we're lucky to have them on board. If there is a motion, the chair would be open to.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2C609, I move that we renew the license application submitted by Mr. Robert Karmel, doing business as the United States Muay Thai Association, for a 2023 outside sanctioning body license.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries
Mr. Chairman,
3-0. Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I might ask Mr. Karmel,
Commissioner?
does he have any events planned for Tucson in the fairly near future? This is just a question for me.
Oh, not at the moment.
Okay. Whenever you get one, let me know.
Will do. Thank you, gentlemen.
Congratulations, Mr. Karmel. We look forward to what you have planned for the year. More to come on that. Thanks again. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Mr. Vella, should we go back to B1 and the notion of an executive session at this point?
Yes, sir. Just to confirm, all commissioners received that link to the executive session, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. And let me just verify that our Assistant Attorney General is with us. Okay, he may already be in there, so we could hop over into that meeting if you just want to end this call for the commissioner.
Yes.
Hop over.
Now, I believe a motion is required to get into executive session, is it not?
I'm not seeing the answer, so I believe it may be necessary.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion that I will second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-0. We are headed into executive session. I will catch you on the flip side.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, are you with us? Mr. Chairman, can you hear me? Hmm.
Sorry, I was muted, I believe. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you now.
Sorry about that. Okay, we ready to proceed?
Do I answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hereby reopen the regular meeting to the public. Let's get back into it. Mr. Vella, I want to proceed with B1.
Current meeting.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'll come on right away.
Okay, thank you. He said he'll hop on right now.
Did we lose you, Mr. Chairman?
No, I'm here. I'm asking how you want to proceed with B1
Oh,
at this
no,
point.
what I'd like to. I'm sorry. I thought you said you'd like to proceed. So with B1, sir, since we were not able to execute the executive session due to lack of legal counsel, I would suggest tabling it until the end of the meeting if legal counsel can join us, and if not, we'll have to schedule for another meeting.
Okay, let's retable it. I'd hate for it to impact any events they may have scheduled, but we will deal with that when we get there. B1 is tabled yet again, and we'll potentially circle back to that. Item C are information reports. C1 is our event reports. The following events were approved by the executive director from January 1st to January 17th, 2023, with the approval of a new or renewal approval of a 2023 promoter's license. The first being a request from RUF Nation LLC for approval of an MMA event to be held at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona on February 25th, 2023. And the second was a request from the United Fight League LLC for approval of an MMA event to be held at Bellbank Park in Mesa, Arizona on February 18th, 2023. Mr. Vella, any thoughts about the event report?
Mr. Chairman, I think that we're starting off the year strong with two very good promotions, and I look forward to their events.
Thank you. Item C2 is our concussion protocols. Mr. Vella, we made any progress or thoughts regarding it?
Yes, sir. I believe that after reviewing it and our previous discussions, I believe that the impact concussion protocol is probably going to be our most cost-effective and beneficial solution. And so I'm going to be looking into purchasing that subscription and seeing how we can execute it internally going forward for all of our events.
Okay, terrific. And thank you so much for putting the time and effort into it. I agree. I think Impact does a nice job for what we're trying to do. Commissioners, thoughts regarding concussion protocol?
Mr. Chairman, I am really excited that we're proceeding with this. That's is great. I just have a question for Mr. Vella as to when he thinks he'll be able to get the package together.
So I do envision it taking at least a month or so that we could not only obtain the subscription, but also implement it into our events. Obviously, our next events after February 3rd, that's our first event coming up here. After that, it would be the February 18th event so far. And with that, I'd like to hopefully have something by then, at least a pilot. But but I would say no later than March or April.
Okay, good. Mr. Chairman, if the executive director could keep us informed as to how this is progressing, that would be great. Even if it's just a short memo outside of a meeting, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Please do, Mr. Vella. Let's keep it on the agenda, but as you have new things happen, please send us an email or something if you can.
I certainly will.
Thank you. Commissioner Feinstein, thoughts?
I would just echo Mr. Pennington in that this has been, I think we started talking about this on the commission 10 years ago when I started as a ringside physician. And I think it's an evolution of our commission and our sport to be able to offer this to fighters and give them that information, help them to assess the risk of what they're doing and help to mitigate risk of some of the concussions that we're seeing. I think, designing, I think now that we have a test to move forward with, I think working with Dr. Oda to make a protocol that allows for baseline testing and post-concussion testing, but also allows for common sense of, the medical team to be able to clear fighters in the absence of those tests where it's logistically not possible, so that we're not limiting events or limiting fighters, but that we have that in place for the majority. I think, the devil's always in the details, but I think we've got a great lead physician in Dr. Oda who's very motivated to get this work done. And I think all the commissioners are supportive of your efforts, Mr. Vella. So I agree, keep us posted, and it's very, very exciting.
Thank you, Commissioner. I agree. And I think it has been 10 years, believe it or not. Let's keep pressing, Mr. Vella. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your agreement, and that this is important. It's something that we probably should have been doing a long time ago. So I'm very excited about your progress, and anything you need from us to continue down the path, please let us know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's press on, and let's keep Concussion Protocol on the meeting agenda, if you will, for next month, just so we can keep talking about it.
I will.
Could we,
item D's.
Mr. Chairman, could we invite Dr. Oda maybe next month to, if Mr. Vella, you're able to get with him offline to present maybe even just a rough idea of what a protocol might look like?
It's a great idea, Commissioner. Mr. Vella, can we try and at least see if Dr. Oda will join us?
Sure. I will speak with Dr. Oda as soon as possible.
Okay. I think it'll be a great resource in trying to build this beast, but great things to come. Thanks again for all your efforts. And thank you, Commissioner Feinstein. It'll be good to hear from the good doctor too. Mr. Vella, we find ourselves at the call to the public. Is anyone wanting to chat with us?
At this time, sir, I do not see any raised hands. Let me just do a double check. I do see Mr. Cory Schafer with his hand raised.
Good morning.
Please, Mr. Schafer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just three things briefly. First, I want to thank you all for the privilege of continuing to be able to serve the state of Arizona. I want to thank and recognize Mr. Vella for his availability, for his expertise, and for his support over the past year and for the coming year. I also did want to mention, ISKA has 3-4 decades of experience at sanctioning, regulating, and supervising SANDA, Sansho, and Chinese kickboxing events. We're available to support promoters, in regions. We've done this type of work in China, here domestically in Nevada, California, New York, and Texas in particular. We worked with a promoter, Arizona-based promoter last year, who's on the call, Jane Ho, supervising Chinese kickboxing. Her event was extraordinary. I mean, it was extraordinary. The culture of compliance by all of her people was exemplary. So we would, be honored to continue to work to support the Chinese martial arts community in Arizona in any way that the commission, would permit us to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your efforts. I'd encourage you to talk with Mr. Vela about that further once we get off of here.
Yes, sir.
But a great thought, and we appreciate your crossing the T's and dotting all the I's. That's really important to us. So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you very much. But please do get some time with Mr. Vela and continue to talk about this further.
Will do.
Thank you. Mr. Vela, anyone else?
Yes, sir. It looks like the Arizona SANDA Association has raised their hand.
Fair enough. Very good. Good morning. Please proceed.
Okay, sir, I'm not sure. It appears that they're on mute. If you'll unmute yourself. Okay, it appears that maybe there are no other people interested in speaking, sir. Okay,
thank you, Mr. Vela. Let's press on to item E, call to the commission pursuant to ARS sections 38-431.02K. Commission members or executive director may introduce a summary of current events, ask questions, and or make comments. Mr. Vela, is there something else you'd like to talk about?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'd like to bring up something that has come to my attention from some of our outside sanctioning bodies, namely the ones that we renewed today, the ISKA and the USMTA, in which there are concerns about the standardization and the clarity of our expectations of the outside sanctioning organizations. And so what I would like everybody to know that we're going to work on doing internally is working with these outside sanctioning organizations to establish standards that are uniform across the board, so that promoters do not have, the opportunity to go to one outside sanctioning organization and have less regulatory standards or expectations than they would if they went to another. And so, like I said, with those concerns being presented to us, I think that it would be in the best interest of not only our commission and our agency, but also the industry as a whole, if we standardize those expectations for all outside sanctioning organizations so that everybody knew what to expect and what would be required, such as medicals, blood work, insurance, those types of things, requirements for paramedics and police and so on and so forth, just as we do, at our commission regulated events. So that's something that I will be working on over the next few months, just as an FYI to all outside sanctioning organizations and the general public and people participating in those events.
Oh, that's fantastic, Mr. Vela. It's high time, I think. I guess our standard has always been to ask them to do everything they can do, and that tends to be too gray a situation. So standardized procedures, I think, is critical. I appreciate you embracing that and spending the time on it. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions about this?
Mr. Chairman, I just think it's a great effort. In the past, we've only had one or two outside sanctioning bodies, so it hasn't been that great a conflict, but now we've got several more. And I think the standardization is something that is well worth pursuing, and I appreciate the executive director taking that and running with it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's press on. Does anyone else have something they'd like to speak to during the call to the commission? Commissioners?
I have nothing else, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. There being none, before we adjourn this, Mr. Vela, do we need to circle back to B1?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Our Assistant Attorney General is with us now, so we could, if we could proceed to executive session. Once again, I believe we'll be able to take care of it.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion for us to enter into executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I move we enter executive session.
I second
Thank
the
you.
motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are out of the regular session, and I'll see you all at the executive session
Mr.
shortly.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
This is Scott Fletcher.
I can hear you loud and clear, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure. Oh, I see Commissioner Feinstein. I'm not sure if Commissioner Pennington has joined back in yet. We just want to get him.
Yeah, we'll sit tight for a minute. Mr. Bella, any sightings of Commissioner Pennington yet?
I believe he has joined. Commissioner Pennington, can you hear us? You may be muted. Sir, if you'd like to.
This is Joe Pennington.
There he is. Okay.
This is Joe Pennington.
Very good. We have a quorum. I am going to hereby reopen the regular meeting. And there we are. We're back to item B1, pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, A, B, and E, 5-229, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Roberto Vargas, doing business as Iron Boy Combat Sports LLC for a 2023 promoter's license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to this application, please?
Mr. Chairman, Iron Boy Combat Sports, as you know, is a very, very good promotion, and they are one of our most active in boxing. And this year they will be returning to MMA as well. So I have no issues with their application, and I would like to recommend their approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioners, thoughts about Mr. Vargas' application?
No questions for me, Mr. Chairman.
None for me, Mr. Chairman. I've attended several of the events, and they always put on a very good show.
Agreed. I've attended many, many. I think I did the math, and it's boxing. He's at Iron Boy Boxing 63, and Iron Boy MMA, I think he's at 18. What's that, 81 events as far? We know him well. He's done some great things, and we look forward to more. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, A, B, and E, 5-229, that I move that we renew the license application submitted by Mr. Roberto Vargas, doing business as Iron Boy Combat Sports LLC for a 2023 promoter's license.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Did I get them all? Commissioner Pennington, did I miss you, or are you in the simultaneous aye?
Yeah.
Okay, the motion carries 3-0. Congratulations to Mr. Vargas and Iron Boy. Look forward to a number of events you have scheduled to the year ahead. And we must now move towards F, our announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, February 15th, 2023, and is subject to changes based on a quorum. Leaving us with G, the possibility of adjournment. Is there a motion for such?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
We've got a motion.
I second the motion.
We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We are officially adjourned. Thank you all for your time. More to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.